What up? This is Myron, and you are listening or watching the Rye Bread and Mustard and Mariners podcast, that down on the docks on the other side of the tracks, 5-star dive bar of and about your Mariners that you were freaking out. You're freaking the fuck out because they lost 2 games out of 3 to another first place team on the road. The world is over. This team only has an 8-game lead in the AL West and 11 games over 500. That is pathetic. That's what a lot of people seem to think online on chat rooms. I don't know if they use chat rooms. That's what I call Facebook groups. We got that happening on X. We got people writing articles. Let's just take a second here. Yes, the Mariners need to obviously improve some offense. We're seeing that. We also are also about to go down to Miami. We got a series going on where, I don't know, there's quite a bit of Miami Marlins trade bait in the water, if you ask me. So we're going to take a look at that. We're also going to look at the 1988 Mariners at the end of this episode. Found a really cool story on a Facebook group called the Seattle Mariners Coffee Shop, Majors and Minors chat room. Saw a cool history story. Want to feature that. We're also going to talk about when Luke Raley's uncle dropped the ball. Yeah, he dropped a home run ball. We're going to talk about that and the lip reading videos that we've seen from Jomboy. And I'm doing that with my boy CJ. What's up, CJ?
What's up, man? How's it going? Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, glad to have you back. You're down in Arizona, but you were just up in Seattle at the games for the Father's Day weekend.
That's right. Yeah, just got back here. Was hoping for some more sun up there, but it rained, so that was expected. It's 110 right now where I am, so it's, I don't know, a little mixture of that and not being so hot would be nice. But it's good to be back down here. It's good to be back to Seattle, see everyone, and go to the game.
Yeah, your allergies got to be all over the damn place.
Yeah.
So, but this was your first. This wasn't your first weekend up there, but it's your first weekend that you've been there when they've done this hot dogs for heaven that you wanted to talk about. You got to see it in person.
Yeah, it was pretty impressive. Hot dogs from heaven. I don't know, caught my interest. I was undercover, so I couldn't actually try to go catch one. But man, it's just like people are going nuts about it. Has to be one of like the best promos in game that I've seen that I can remember. And I'm just hoping that they start taking advantage of it, get some merch out there to jump on the hype, because it was pretty awesome to see in person.
You know, speaking of merch, our good friend Billy DeVore from the Nasty Boys, New Nasty Boys podcast, the Cincinnati Reds podcast. He also, as if you've listened on here before, is his brand In the Clutch. I'll pull it up right here. You were like, they got to get some merch out there for that hot dogs from heaven. Well, he's already got that taken care of. In fact, if you go to In the Clutch, you go to sports, baseball, or you go to
City proper. Yeah.
Cities. We are West, because even though this is licensed with MLBPA, you do have
beautiful
a hot dogs from heaven shirt right there. Ooh, it looks like it comes in it comes in white. It comes in sapphire
and mint.
Hot dogs from heaven in the Clutch apparel.
Fantastic.
Now
well,
we were saying,
I know where I'm going after this.
This phenomenon, or this in-game promo gets talked about outside of Seattle. So I gotta say, this might be one of the Mariners' biggest hits. This is probably the biggest hit since Buhner Buzzcut night.
Yeah, I mean, I would agree. I was excited to see it. Everyone was excited. It was pretty sweet to see it in person. So yeah, I hope they keep it going and really take advantage of it. I mean, that and then the fish race is pretty good too, but I got to give it to the hot dogs from heaven.
My sister Heidi hates the fish race, so this will be interesting. I got to get you guys on here and have you go ahead.
Okay.
Be so good. But the hot dogs from heaven, I should say, like a Buhner Buzz night is a once a night year, just like Bat Night was. I don't think they do Bat Night anymore. But that was the night growing up.
Bat Night was sweet. It used to be full bats, I think, when we were younger.
The year they switched to the black bats, one year I didn't go, and it was like the year they finally switched to the black bats, and I felt like a lesser than with everybody till the next year. But the hot
They
dogs
probably didn't have eBay there, so you couldn't go buy it off a third party or
Yeah,
off
I
market.
know. You'd have to go steal one down at the Ballard Boys and Girls Club. That was your
That's
only,
right.
it was the only way. You had to commit a crime to get it. But the thing about the hot dogs for heaven is they do this more than once. It's not just a once a year thing. But yeah, anyways, in the clutch, look, they got the 9 innings, 9 hot dogs, 0 regrets. Look, they even got a Jonathan Class A
Ooh, yeah.
t-shirt. And now with Jonathan Class A, you're thinking the Mariners are strategizing what they're doing with him and possibly using him for trade bait?
That's my thought, right? He's really killing it down in AAA, like padding his stats up and improving his stock from a trade perspective. I mean, you would think that he's doing so well that have him come up and play with the big league, but I have a hunch that they're just letting him stay in AAA, get the at bats, improve his stats, and really kind of hanging him out there as trade bait for one of those big bats that we're looking for because. And we do have a lot of outfielders right now, so I don't know if he has an actual place. I think he's a natural right fielder, I believe, or left fielder.
He's a left fielder. He's probably
Left fielder, right? So it's like
there's a lot of ground, but I don't think he really has a. I don't know. I'd have to go look, but I don't remember him having like some gun that was on the.
Yeah, he's definitely fast. He can still base. He's probably one of the fastest guys on the team. But he just didn't perform so well when he's up here. I don't think we gave him enough time to actually get comfortable on the big team. But he's definitely doing really well in AAA. So
anybody that we've brought up from the minors pretty much has come up as an injury replacement. Like there hasn't really been a long-term plan for everyone. We just saw that recently, or we're probably going to see more of it recently or upcoming when Jorge Polanco comes back. Now, if Jorge Polanco can be something like we're seeing flashes of that in spring training and going, oh man. And again, that's spring training pitching early on in the year, but if he could get it going at second base, that'd be awesome. What you are losing with Bliss is that speed and that just like awesome defense that we're seeing with Bliss.
Yeah.
But that's the move you got to make because also Bliss has got to play every day. That's a guy that you want to keep developing. And also, what do you think about him as something that somebody else would want?
Yeah, I mean, like a package deal, right? I would think we'd probably try to package some of our pitching, but our pitching is also getting somewhat dinged up. But I could see like a Bliss Class A with, I would have said Hancock, but he just left a game early for a back strain or a back pain, or he felt something, and so that's obviously concerning. And so I would say the trade deadline can get here soon enough because these guys are, you're getting dinged up, and then that's going to, obviously other teams are seeing that, and so that's going to hurt their trade value and what we can actually get back.
Yeah, and you were saying Hancock left the game today, as well.
I think it was in the last couple days, but he left in the 5th inning. He said he felt something, so he left with a trainer, and it sounds like it was something to do with his back. So I don't know. I haven't seen an update on that, but it sounds like something's going on there. So he's probably going to have to have some time off.
And then I saw a report that Wu said he isn't feeling all that great. Is that what is going on?
Yeah, I don't know if he's 100% from because he took some time off too. Like he didn't start with the club, right? And so I think there's still something there, and you could kind of tell this last outing was at game 2, right?
Yes,
just didn't look right or look comfortable. So.
Yeah, and that's him coming back from the spot he missed. So
yeah, right.
That is a bit concerning, and you wonder if the Mariners have their eyes on some sort of veteran 5-starter too, just as a backup plan. But I'm sure you can find that. It's just, do you have the offense to just grab somebody and throw them in the number 5 slot? I mean, we're basically with the offense we have right now, you're like, we have to have 5 aces.
Yeah, exactly right. And that was between like Hancock and Wu, and then maybe one of those get traded. But if they're both hurt when it comes around trade deadline, that really kind of puts a wrench in probably some of the proposals that Depoto's doing.
Get ready to play hardball in the Kingdom.
Take me to the ball game. I want to see the M's. The Mariners are playing hardball. Did it again and again and again. Did it again.
Princess Tours, the vacation company, brings you the best show in baseball when the San Diego Chicken plays hardball with the Seattle Mariners and the Baltimore Orioles tonight in the Kingdome.
Yeah. As far as look, we could sit here and talk about the Cleveland series, I guess briefly. Let's just talk about it, and we'll get into some of that Miami Marlin trade bait there down in the waters. So Monday night, or excuse me, Tuesday night after a day off. Monday they were hanging out. I saw some of them went to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame there. Basically they had to take the coaches or Dave Sims to tell all these young guys like who the fuck all these people are. So I saw them. I was like, thank God they took them. But Mariners, they put up 8 runs on the board in this game. Also played add-on throughout this game. Cleveland tried to, claw their way back in. Not the greatest game out of the bullpen, but you're feeling good after this 8-5 game on Tuesday to start off the series.
Yeah, I mean, I think coming into it, I was a little concerned just going on the road playing Cleveland, who's like one of the better teams in baseball, like how it was going to go, how it was going to go. And then I don't know where I was. I happened to be watching it at a restaurant, and I was like, whoa, we were so far ahead so early. Like I wasn't expecting that at all. And so, yeah, it was like, well, this is going to be nice. It'll be a nice series, nice way to kick it off. And hopefully we can get a couple more wins out of it. And then obviously that didn't work out, but yeah, it was a solid outing, like some good home runs, some good hitting, like things that we're not really used to, right? Like there's a lot of good pop out there from the guys.
Yeah, and JP's kind of not had the results of late, so it was really good to see him hop out there with a shot. I think he was on base every single time he was up to bat. Or one time he didn't get on base, but I mean he was on base all night. You see Raleigh chipping in here, Luke Raley, and
Dylan Moore is like our hero right now. Between him and Rojas.
I mean, and when you say hero, he was 3 for 10 in the series. That's the hero. That's the hero. No, he is. He's the hottest Mariner. That's the line. Then after Monday, there was a whole lot of nothing. Or Tuesday. After Tuesday, there was a whole lot of nothing. Wednesday's game was like, I don't have a word for it. It was frustrating, but it was also meh. The only highlight of this game is JP getting thrown out, then Scott Service getting thrown out, and then that reports that somebody ordered JP a pizza.
That's right. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I look at it like, hey, it was Wu as our 5th starter starting against their number 1 starter. So, it's just like that, strike it up. It's probably not going to be a win for us. And that's just kind of how it goes. Move on. It's just kind of whatever. Turn a blind eye to it. And
I don't even want to go over that box score. I mean, Wu did not pitch well. The Mariners did not hit well. It was over, and it was over fast. In fact, I turned it. I think I started watching the Yankees-Orioles game to see if there was going to be a fight after the night that Judge got nailed.
That's right.
Then they ended up nailing Gunnar Henderson, and I was like, oh, boy.
Here we go.
Sorry, I had to just say enough of the Mariners shit. But, the biggest story from this is we're back to ordering pizza for guys getting thrown out of the game. Let's see. Popular Mariners fan delivered pizza to JP. Who is this?
Why didn't the person get one for service? I mean, he got ejected too.
Obviously, he's not a fan of what Scott. He's obviously not a fan of what Scott and Jerry have done. That's probably my guess. But yeah, here it is. Here's the ejection. I mean,
it was pretty bad. Like the entire at bat, it was just like JP just saying he was getting picked on from like the location for this guy.
Oh, he's giving it to him too. Here comes Acta, and then Scott Service gives it to him. He gets chucked too. This is Doug Hennings. He's a crabby bastard. And then after that, let's see. Then the Jage page, I guess, popular fan. He said that I get the vibe that the Gersasi slaps. That must be like a Cleveland. But then it looked like it turned out to just be a Domino's build your own
Exactly.
with a Coke, $25.
Yeah, gotta get a Coke. Yeah.
That's okay. And then Uber Eats, there it is. Oh, pan crust. That is I'll give you my favorite solid homemade pan, my favorite Domino's, and they should give me a goddamn endorsement for deal for this. But you get the pan, you get the Parmesan sauce, regular cheese, feta, and you can either have pepperoni, it's the dankaroni, or it's the dankaroni light if you substitute tomatoes for pepperoni. That's the dankaroni. I feel like that's the monster creation. I have to give props to my director buddy Bolin Miller for coming up with the first one, and I did a little bit of a modification. But it's all about the feta. If you're a feta guy, that's what's going on. So yeah, we see the ejection here. Now let's go back to the week before we talk about the other loss the Mariners had. You wanted to talk about that lip reading?
Yeah. So was it Jomboy put out a lip reading, and I mean, you almost feel bad for the ump, like from what he is saying, just saying that sometimes I'm just horseshit. It's just like. He totally defended himself. He knew that he made a bad call, and I mean, if you haven't seen it, everyone should go check it out. It's pretty hilarious.
Yeah,
I mean, obviously it's bad that he's doing it against the Mariners and getting those shit calls, but it's just saying sometimes I'm just.
So here it is, right here. It's Chris Guccione, and you know what? Jay Buhner was laying into this umpire during.
That's right. It was during the Buhner night, right?
Yeah, and he was almost going like, "Hey, and if he doesn't like what I'm being said, I can meet you outside." And it was like, "Whoa, what the hell is Jay doing?"
Yeah, that's right. You went total nuts on him. That's awesome.
Yeah, he did, and he was like, he goes, "Well, he had a bad night. I don't want to say he's had a bad year, but and then he was like, that's pretty much was like, then it led to him talking about, here's what I do for commissioner. If he didn't like that, then he could meet me outside. So this is
Mariners are down 3.
Hold on, let me play that again.
There you go. Strike 3. He does not like the call. Not at all. You haven't been calling that. I've been back here. You haven't been there all fucking night. And this is what he's talking about. He's been catching for the Mariners, and he says, you haven't been there all night. That pitch he wanted a strike, didn't get it. That one he wanted on the edge, didn't get it. That one's not a strike, but he wanted it because he framed it. Outside again, never got it. So he's saying, hey, you haven't been given this pitch, and he's not happy about it. And he says, no fucking way, Chris. No way. And he gets ejected. Look at this. Look at this ejection. Lackluster. Just lackluster.
Just a lazy fucking ejection.
Bad night. Chris, you're better than that. You've had a bad game. You've been fucking horrible today. No fucking way. Come on. Where you been? Where is it, Chris? Huh? Where fuck is it? That's right there on the zone. It's not right there. Check your fucking glasses.
Hey, don't say that to him.
You're better than this. It's a horseshit night. And you cost us the whole fucking game. Yeah, well, sometimes I'm just horseshit. Yeah, you've been horseshit. I'll watch. I'm trying my ass off. Well, that's not good enough. Well, some nights aren't good enough. Fuck, I was up at 3:30 this morning. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm letting you know. Yeah. Okay, sometimes you're not good. Sometimes you are. It's fucking brutal. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm just trying to do my best. It's not good enough. Watch these two fans when it happens, when he gets ejected. Oh, what? No! Whoa!
That's good.
Hello.
Well, Grandma, Jared Kelnick, no longer a Mariner. He's an Atlanta Brave. What's your feelings on it?
My feelings are on this is I really don't care He wasn't one of my favorites. The one that kicked the water cooler?
That's who he is. He was very passionate.
Yeah, well, maybe he could go get a job with the Seahawks as a kicker if things don't work out with a lot of Braves.
So you didn't like his attitude?
No, I didn't care for him at all. But I was always under the impression that you kind of liked him when they brought him in up there. Does Hampton like him? Well, he wasn't my favorite, I'll tell you that. So I can't, I wish him luck, but I can't shed any tears over him going. And leave the rest of the team kind of alone.
Here in game 3, though, you thought it was going to be good after last night's dog shit or horse shit performance, where some nights you're just not good.
It's not good enough.
It's just not good enough. It was not good enough. You come out and you score 2 right away. JP gets on, home run from Dylan Moore. You're up 2-0. Julio gets a hit, and you're like, all right, right? You're just pumped. And then the Mariners could never really get a good offensive surge in this game. Scored another run, but
yeah, we peaked too early.
Could not answer back from, again, a team that starts scoring runs. We're not answering back. In fact, after the Mariners got that big lead in game 1, they didn't really answer back. Cleveland was doing all the rest of the scoring pretty much the rest of the series. And
they also seemed like Cleveland. I was surprised to see that. I just had to pay attention a lot to other games, but they seem they run all the time. Like no matter what, they're going to be stealing. So they're very active on the base pass.
And they hit the ball. They're not a big strikeout team.
Again, a feeling that Stephen Kwan is like he's a Mariner killer for me.
Oh, he's on the list. He's definitely on the list. And then he's
batting 396 and OPS of over 1,000.
So we lose this game today. And I saw a lot of these, like I said at the top that I was alluding to. People are flipping out. I do feel like that you saw what obviously the Mariners need to improve on. Let me just read this one. This is in the Seattle Mariners group. The guy's name is Josh Smith. Almost sounds like a fake name. Says your ace against their shitty pitcher. You still lose because your ace couldn't pull his head out of his ass and your offense flailed wildly. This loss isn't acceptable, especially in a game that has playoff implications. Scott, Jerry, and this team failed badly. This is how you will see our playoffs go if Jerry doesn't wake up and do his job. End quote. From Josh Smith.
You would think we were like middle of the pack fighting for a wild card spot with that.
And then there's 2 weeks of baseball to play.
Exactly. We're at the tail end of September.
So where I land on this is you are getting to see the Mariners lose to teams early on, like Kansas City, Cleveland. We saw them not do good in Minnesota. New York, yes, they split the series, but let's be honest, they stole one of the games. That was a miracle.
Yeah.
It was 0. It was less than 1%, right? That they could do that. So with that being said, what do all those teams have in common? They hit the ball. And even though you have this elite pitching, sometimes those good hitters are going to hit the ball. And what do you do at that point? I mean, Yankees, like anybody on that team can get on base, and they get on base quite a bit. And then you got guys, big sharks in the water. You got Soto, you got Stanton, and you got Judge that can lean into a 3-run home run at any point in a game.
Just look at their run differential, right? Like I think they're up over like plus 155 or something like that compared to us at like plus 14.
And Cleveland's going to spray the ball all over the yard on you. And so, look, all these series, you could point to games where the other team gets out there and gets a healthy lead, and you really can't answer back. And the games that you did win were very low scoring, which I get it. That's their bread and butter. I get it. That's how they're built. Their big strength is pitching. We know the story, but it's becoming glaringly more and more obvious of like what the Mariners need to go out and get. And maybe that's also too another bullpen arm. You could put that on the list as probably one of the things they might need to get. And maybe now you are adding a starter, but the 1A is obviously offense. It's got to be, I don't care what position it comes from. We'll make it work. That's the way I look at it. And so
The unfortunate thing is everyone knows that, right? So they're going to be wanting so much. And that's where I have the concern. Like, we have such a talented farm system. Granted, they are prospects, and who knows if they pan out like the lottery, but I don't want to give up like a Montez or a Celestin, right? Like, but everyone's going to be asking for our top guys for a bat because everyone knows we need it.
Yeah, they know that they're desperate for it. So yeah, I get it. That's business. Miami Marlins going into the series right here. This is a series. The next two series, the Mariners. At least this next series, the Mariners. You should win. Tampa Bay might be tough.
Yeah, Marlins are 25 and 49.
Yeah,
their run differential of a -115. The last in the East. It's just like the White Sox. Like it's a series that we should just take care of business. But potentially we'll have a hiccup, right? So we might lose one, but we need to at least get two. We should sweep them.
Yes, and also, just like when we were playing the White Sox and we were just fantasizing about what Luis Robert Jr. would look like in a Mariners uniform or what he could do. This series, you're probably looking at 4 guys. Like, we were texting each other today, and then of course I go into Seattle Sports and Brent Decker's already written up something, stole our ideas right out of our brain. There's 4 players that we should be taking a look at. One is left-handed reliever Tanner Scott, 1.74 ERA, left-hander out of the bullpen, 34 strikeouts, and what do we have here? 34 strikeouts, 21 walks in 31 innings. We have Spire, we have Saucedo, but when is Spire coming back? I don't know when that news is. Also, this would be somebody you're probably, this would help out Stanek. This would be an option if Gregory Santos just never really gets out there.
Probably would be a sweetener in any deal just because he's a free agent, right? So it'd be a rental player.
Yeah, another person is somebody that I wanted, not this last offseason, but the offseason before. We didn't get first baseman Josh Bell. Decent numbers, 247, 311, 376, OPS just under 7 home runs, 56 strikeouts, 22 walks. Would just be like another Ty France, it feels like. So that to me is kind of a lateral pickup. If you could get him and play him and Ty France on days and Garver. See, it's kind of a logjam with that. What's Stecker say about him? Nothing. Here's an interesting one. Outfielder Chaz Chisholm Jr. Probably the most known name, right? I would say, or probably just
right.
Him.
Super popular. He's on the video game cover. Just electric type energy.
Yes. OPS just a little bit under 8, 10 home runs, 13 stolen bases, 72
high strikeout, fits in with the team just perfectly.
Yeah. So, but electric player, you're right. And then this is the other one that's pretty interesting to me. Look at the picture. He's hitting a home run. I thought he was striking out, throwing something down, but outfielder Brian De La Cruz, 245, 296, 424 OPS, over 7, but 13 home runs. But look at this, 80 strikeouts.
Perfect. It fits right in. We're good.
So
Club control is interesting for sure.
I don't believe let's see, Naylor, not Naylor, sorry, Josh Bell, 56 strikeouts. That's pretty norm. Also want to mention Bell, I believe, is a switch hitter, so there's that.
Yeah.
So these are 4 guys. I feel like Chisholm is the one that's obviously going to be the most expensive.
Yeah.
Brian De La Cruz isn't going to come cheap either if teams are that desperate, but the strikeouts are what kind of scare me away from these guys.
Right. Yeah, I mean, but it's kind of, I mean, I don't know. I think we've been thinking the last few years, it just seems like that's just the way baseball is. You know, you're going to strike out a lot, but if you hit the ball a long ways, that's fine. That's just kind of acceptable now.
Yeah, it's going to be, if one of these guys goes off on the Mariners this weekend,
yeah,
I think the narrative changes. But so far, I haven't really thought about anything from the Marlins.
I also wonder about these guys, you know, that are on the Marlins team, or even, you know, Lou Robb with the White Sox, like a change of scenery, like with the Mariners, where you have, it's very positive thinking. If that just mentally will help kickstart, like some of these, maybe their stats a little bit lower here, but they come in and they just start, you know, they're in a better place, and they'll start playing better, potentially just from a more positive emotional feeling.
No, I totally get that. So what was this thing about Luke Raley that I somehow missed this?
Yeah, no, it's someone's clicking around, you know, on X or Twitter or whatever, and I think it's from Mariners on Tap. It turns out in Game 1 when Luke Raley hit the home run, and if you watch the video, there's a fan in the outfield that goes to catch the ball, 2 hands, but he drops the ball, and that person that dropped the ball actually turned out to be his uncle, which is pretty random and pretty funny at the same time.
There it is. Okay, there goes.
Oh, yeah, restart it.
Okay, okay, here he goes.
Goes the other way.
Goes the other way, guy.
2 hands on her too.
2 hands, front row. Look at him.
Right off the mitts. It's like a big dude too. I'm surprised he dropped it.
I was like, why is he playing out? Why is he sitting out there? And I said, oh, Luke Raley plays left field. I was gonna say, couldn't he get better seats? Is his uncle out there fucking side coaching him or what?
Yeah. Oh,
ball like this.
man.
What have you been enjoying here in Seattle?
Beer.
Lots of beer.
Lots of beer and seafood, man. Like I'm on FanDuel every day back home, and I'm just on my phone making my bets. I can't do it here. I feel empty inside. I feel like a part of my life is missing.
I got a guy.
Oh, you got a guy?
Oh, yeah. I got a guy.
We got casinos for that around here.
Yeah.
I heard. Yeah, what is it? Moose knuckle? Or is that what it's called? Muckle shoot?
Tell us a little bit about your t-shirt. I mean, and your apparel venue that you got going on.
Yeah, intheclutch.com. We've got full MLBPA license. We've got every team covered. We have so many for the Mariners.
Yeah.
Sorry, the Seattle baseball team. Use the promo code NASTYBOYS, all caps, get 10% off.
Mm-hmm.
So stock up there, man. It's a cool little independent company, because you know how much Nike and Fanatics are screwing the pooch on these jerseys and most of the apparel. Buy them from independent companies and support the player you like directly.
We had somebody ask us to do a couple of these little, like, I missed when you guys did the history thing, and I was like, oh yeah, well, that's more work, but that's always fun. So this one I found on the Mariners coffee shop, like I said at the beginning. This one, we're going to go back to 1988 for this guy's Throwback Thursdays. The guy's name is Mark. Ooh, this is a tough one. Schnickendans.
Oh,
Mark.
good effort, at least. Good effort.
Schnickendans. I don't know. He sounds like must be a former hockey player. This looks like, I don't know. Sorry about the mispronunciation of that name, if you even listen. But this guy, it seems like he puts these like history things out every week. I know a few people do, but this one I thought was pretty cool. I'm gonna If you're watching this on the YouTube, you'll see it, but I'm going to read this. So let's go back to 1988. The M's were 12 years old in 1988. 68-93, they finished 35 and a half games back and in the cellar. They fired Hall of Fame manager Dick Williams. Do you remember him?
I don't know if I don't.
That's the first manager I can ever remember, Dick Williams. And I remember this. Dick Williams in June, after what ended up becoming a culmination of a feud, which I didn't know this, though.
Oh, yeah.
Feud between ace Mark Langston. After the pitcher let it be known that he was angry about being left in the game by the manager. First base coach Jim Snyder was elevated to manager. I remember this is like when I first can remember baseball, and then I didn't understand. I was like sad the manager like got traded. Like I was just beside myself. Just a few weeks later in July, Dick Balderson was fired in favor of a former player in front office experience, Woody Woodward. Woody Woodward had been released by the Phillies a month prior due to differences in philosophy with the team president. He also signed free agent Steve Balboni and drafted first baseman Tino Martinez. So that guy, this dude was the dude who drafted Tino. That's news to me. Yeah. Woodward, for his part, got his feet wet immediately, making the trade famous by Seinfeld, Ken Phelps, to the Yankees for Jay Buhner. He also flipped Wilson from the Balderson trade to the Pirates for Darnell Coles.
Wow, nice.
I do remember Darnell Coles. I think he does play-by-play or he's in the booth in Detroit, I believe. Highlights in 1988. Harold Reynolds was an all-star. Both Reynolds and starting pitcher Mark Langston were awarded Gold Gloves. Offense. The Mariners finished here's where they are just like this year right now. The Mariners finished in the bottom third of the league in most offensive categories. Although they did begin to finally take advantage of playing in the Kingdom, they managed to tie the evil empire, the Yankees, for fourth place in home runs with 148. Boy, the bar was low. The offense was led by Alvin Davis, who slashed 295, 412, 468 with 18 home runs. That was the league, probably team leading hammer. The DH also contributed offense by Ken Phelps pre-deadline and Steve Balboni afterwards. Harold Reynolds and Jay Buhner also chipped in for the cause. The pitching staff can be described as middle of the road. However, the bullpen was a strength. So, hey, they had the strong bullpen. The starting rotation was led by ace Mark Langston, Mike Moore, and Scott Bankhead. Both Langston and Moore eclipsed 200 innings. Langston struck out 235 batters and Moore 182. The bullpen was led by closer Mike Schooler, and a new acquired Mike Jackson sported an ERA under 3, and Schooler saved 15 games. Again, not a lot of opportunities. Throwback Thursday, and then he's got a picture of Jay Buhner's Mariners rookie card. Wow. I thought that was a pretty interesting throwback today. I was like, oh, this is interesting. Very random.
Yeah, pretty awesome. I like that.
1988. You know, some people like the history, some people don't. Again, going in this Miami Marlins series, we expect a winning series, I think, at minimum, and a sweep. I know it's tough to sweep teams in pro sports, but the Mariners should be able to sweep this team. Was
the 3-game set?
Yeah, 2 out of 3 is 2 out of 3 is what I expect. Anything less than that,
yeah, because we'll have Kirby, Logan, and Miller, right? So that's cool.
And the Mariners should be able to, you'd think, hit this pitching. So,
yeah.
Well, everybody, we'll be back Sunday night / Monday morning, hopefully talking about a series win. Also, when you get back into Seattle, whether the weather is cooperating and the roof is open or closed, just remember the bar and kitchen are always open at Tacos Tequila right there on Occidental, right across from T-Mobile Park. Also, again, go check out In the Clutch. And also, if you're looking for that rye bread gear, because you need the street cred for rocking the rye bread in those streets. Hit up at simply.cora. That's at simply.cora. All right, CJ, try to stay cool down there in Arizona. And we'll see you guys Sunday/Monday.